La Máquina Deportiva, la factoría a nivel mundial de los deportes.
We'll start here with Keegan.
Hey, Isaiah, I'm Keegan Matheson. I cover the team for MLB.com. I'll start with your free agency. What was this experience like for you? And did it compare to what you expected going into this individually?
Hey, Gian, nice to meet you. It was a great experience. It was I didn't really know what to expect going into it after my last year in New York, but it was very surprising. I wasn't really expecting as many teams to call as you know. I was kind of overwhelmed. It made me feel really good. But yeah, I think that was the biggest surprise for me. Is I wasn't really expecting as many teams of interest as I got. So that was pretty much the one thing, and you know, it was a pretty cool experience.
And coming into Toronto now, you're a player who can do a lot of different things. What is your understanding of where you'll fit in this roster in terms of day-to-day positioning, what your role will be, and how much did that play into your decision to come to Toronto?
Yeah, you know, I'm here to win. I think that's the biggest thing. I looked across playing in New York, and Vladdy and Bo, George, everyone on that team. I didn't like facing any of the pitchers. Did not like playing defense when those guys were hitting. You know, Vladdy hits the ball harder than a lot of people in the league. Bo as well. George. I mean, everybody. So it was just like the situation from watching them across. It's just a team that I knew was ready to win, and you know, for the most part, all the pieces are in place, and I love the city, so it was just a kind of an easy decision on that front.
I appreciate it, Isaiah. Thank you.
No problem. Nice meeting you.
Go ahead, Ben. Ben, you're super quiet. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. This should be better. Any better?
Yeah, way better.
Awesome. Yeah, Ben Nicholson-Smith here with Sportsnet in Toronto. Isaiah, congrats on the deal. You're a guy who's obviously played a lot of different positions defensively. Where do you think that and understanding that you want to help the team win, where do you think that your defensive skill set plays up best?
I feel comfortable everywhere on the infield. You know, I feel really comfortable in center field. I had a lot of experience in left field in New York as well last year. I feel comfortable everywhere on defense. There's not really, I'd say third base is by far my best position. I don't have to think when I play third base. I just show up and kind of everything, you know, comes easy there. When I play shortstop, I think the biggest thing for me is I just need more reps at shortstop. When I take reps at shortstop, it makes second base easy, makes third base easy. And when I go to the outfield, it really helps my arm. So I think the big thing for me is having the ability to roam around. Roaming around keeps me athletic. And when I'm athletic, my hitting's good. You know, my fielding's good. My throwing's good. I think that some problems I ran into when I was an everyday shortstop was losing the athleticism, kind of stiffening up a little bit. And it would play into my offense. So I always felt like when I'm moving around and, you know, just able to stay athletic, everything kind of, you know, everything is pretty smooth.
Nice. So going into spring, how much do you think you'll bounce around between different positions as you guys kind of prepare for the season in 6 weeks or so?
You know, I'm just preparing myself for anything. I know the off season isn't done. I know there's still going to be moves. So I'm just, you know, I'm ready to play everywhere. I think last year, my experience coming off the bench and in a utility role really allowed me to, you know, stay confident and stay ready, whether it's third, short, second, center, left, catcher. You know, I'm ready to do whatever I need to do. And the experience I had from coming off the bench really allowed me to build a process to stay engaged and stay ready to play it at any position at any time.
Nice. Thank you.
Yep.
Go ahead, Shai.
Hey, Isaiah. I'm Shai from Sportsnet. Nice to meet you. Congrats on the deal.
Thank you.
You mentioned there being a number of teams that had pursued you in strong interest. Can you describe a bit about your process of how you examined each opportunities and identified the one that you felt was most right for you?
Yeah, I had opportunities to play shortstop every day. I had opportunities to play center. I had opportunities to play third base, and I had opportunities coming off the bench, and I also had opportunities in a super utility role. So I just, looking at all of it, the city comes into play, the playing time comes into play, obviously the finances come into play, the years. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning for me. I really want to win. I have the most fun when I'm winning. I feel like guys bond more. And I just wanted to be a part of something special. And I feel like playing in Toronto is special because you get to play in front of a whole country. I always felt the power there. I love the city. The city's beautiful. It's clean. And it's, I like the architecture there. Architecture is beautiful. And there's really nothing bad to say about Toronto. So it's kind of an easy decision when you factor in the living situation, the city, especially leaving New York. I kind of fell in love with the energy around the city. So I also, the only other place I really felt that was Toronto. So it's a really exciting opportunity for me going forward.
All right. And you mentioned having a lot of interest. So, and I imagine that probably gave you comfort, but not getting a contract done until just after Christmas and having the process extend so deep into the off season, how did that maybe affect how you were thinking about the free agent experience and maybe how you set up for a season, do your work, kind of get to know coaches and things of that nature?
I felt like the last couple of years I was able to build a good base, a good foundation of what I need to do, who I am, and what I need to work on. So I think that foundation kind of played into everything, where I kind of just stayed on that same path. And being a utility player last year, it really allowed me to just kind of stay on that path, and whatever opportunity came through, I was prepared because of the situation I was put in. I played left field for the first time. I played outfield the first time in my career last year. I also only caught 70 games in the minor leagues before I caught in the big leagues my rookie year in 2018. So I've been always, kind of thrown into the fire in different situations. So just the experience I've had throughout my career really allowed me to, just kind of, I wouldn't say relax, but, it wasn't a panic to be like, oh, I'm going to play this position, I need to work a different way. I kind of just taken the same approach and, just ready for whatever opportunity comes forward.
All right. Thanks.
No problem.
Go ahead, John.
Hey, Isaiah. My name's John Chidley Hill. I'm a sports reporter with the Canadian Press. It's like our country's version of the Associated Press.
Awesome.
Welcome to Toronto.
Thank you.
Guess my first question is, what's the welcome been like from the organization? And do you know any of the players or coaches from a previous team, or maybe your time in the minors or coming up?
Off the top of my head, Carlos, our new third base coach, Feblis, was my fall league coach back in 2016, I believe. I had Gil Kim with me in Texas. So I saw him, he was a big part of Texas going after the international free agents. And, I think he was a big part of the Vladdy signing as well. But for the most part, just playing against him the last couple of years, I got to, I know the guys off of competition. I've seen all the pictures, and I had a couple of guys reach out to me. The coaching staff, pretty much everybody in the coaching staff has reached out, and I couldn't be more excited. I'm just ready to get to work, and the team is really, really good. So it's, it wasn't fun playing against them, but I'm really happy to be on their side now.
I was also intrigued that you mentioned that you were attracted to the city's architecture. We don't normally hear that from athletes that have signed in the city. Do you consider yourself like an architecture fan? And if so, like, what about the city that you like the looks of?
Not really. I think I'm born and raised in Hawaii, so I don't see big buildings. When I was in New York, I really fell in love with like just the city and the fast moving pace, which is like what everybody normally tries to leave. But being born in Hawaii and everything's slow, I like being where, places where it's fast. And I'm half Samoan, quarter white, and a quarter Japanese. So I love Asian food, and like I've never seen so many good Asian restaurants lined up. I feel like Toronto is so multicultural. The buildings are all different. Like there's no like Chinatown, Asiatown. It's kind of just everything is kind of all over the place. when we stayed in Yorkville, I'd walk around, go to a good Chinese restaurant, see a cool building, have lunch in their building, go shopping, and it was just like I fell in love with that energy, and yeah, I can't wait to live and get to know the city even more.
Cool, thanks.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Isaiah, welcome and Happy New Year. I'm Mike from the Toronto Star. I think you'll find that we have a pretty big, vibrant Chinatown that you'll really enjoy once you get here. I wanted to ask you, I mean, you mentioned having opportunities for everyday playing time at a specific position in other locations, and you say you came here because you want to win, but do you have an expectation of playing time? Do you think you're going to be an everyday player here, though maybe not necessarily just at one specific position?
I know I can contribute here. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I'm going to look to contribute in any type of way. Right now, the off season is not over, so it's hard to really predict what my job is going to be going forward. But I think one thing that was intriguing to me was the width row. I think I didn't really play much last year in the utility role last year in New York. I didn't really get into a good rhythm. I think the best rhythm I got into was May to August was like the only time I was playing well, and it was the best baseball of my career. It was the first time I really was crushing the ball consistently. But besides those months, I didn't play, and I just saw that the opportunity, no matter where it was, if it was third, moving around, I felt like there was at bats here, and I felt like it can help the team win. And the biggest thing for me that I take pride in is I like to take on certain things to let the big guys and the stars really focus on what they need to do to produce every day. So that's I like to do the dirty work, and that's something I'm really looking forward to doing on this team.
What do you consider that dirty work to be?
Just I wouldn't say I say moving guys over, doing the things that are necessary to help the team win off the field. The little things that stays in the locker room, and just those kind of things where I felt like I had a great relationship with 99 with the Yankees and a bunch of other guys, and I would take that responsibility on so that they could go out there and get the reps to focus on what they need to do to perform, and that's something that I'm willing to do here to help our guys get to the next level, and to help our team get to the next level. And
if I could throw one more in, just you mentioned how much you disliked playing against the Blue Jays last year, and how good a team you think they are. Here this winter in Toronto, fans have been kind of down on the team, down on the way that last season ended. What did you see that gets you so excited about what this group can do in 2024?
I felt like offensively it was a down year. I remember playing against them in 2021 when I was in Texas, and it was overwhelming. The amount of home runs that were hit against us that series. We played in Buffalo that series, but I mean the amount of home runs, it was just like, when's this going to end? It never ended, and it was just very overwhelming. And I felt like last year was a down year offensively for the team a little bit, but the pitching emerged. The defense emerged. They found different ways to win games, and I think that's the biggest thing. Good teams find ways to win, whether it's offense, defense, base running, or pitching. And no matter what they were dealing with in certain situations, they always overcame it. Someone stepped up, rather a defensive play, a big hit, or pitching. And I think those struggles last year are gonna, really help us going into this year, where if we can get everything firing on all cylinders. I mean, I don't think anybody really expected the defense and the pitching to be the way it was last year. So for those two spots of the team to really step up, I mean, it just shows that it's a good clubhouse and it's a good organization, and they really know how to find different ways to win ball games when things aren't going right.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Go ahead, Griff.
Hey, Isaiah. Rich Griffin with griffsatpitch.com. The two guys that are leading this offense, Bo and Vlad, how would you compare that duo? And they had a down, or not a down year, but they were part of that offensive struggle last year. How would you compare that duo to the anyone in the American League in terms of top of the order?
They're, I think they'd probably be batting in the top two and the top four with anybody in the AL East. I don't think, you know, I feel like from an offensive standpoint, Bo is probably the best pure hitter there is. I feel like, you know, he can hit a home run, he can hit a double, he can, you know, he can work a count. And you have Vladdy, he's dangerous. He's an animal, and I think they're top four for sure. If you make a lineup 1 through 4, Bo and Vladdy are definitely in that top 4.
As 24 and 25-year-olds have still got a lot of upside ahead of them. Can you help as a more veteran player coming from a Yankee and Ranger environment?
Yeah, I believe I can. I feel like you know, Anthony Volpe was someone I took under my wing last year. You know, he beat me out in spring training, but that didn't affect, you know, me wanting to help him. So I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to work with Vladdy and work with Bo. You know, I'm going to need a lot of their help from the offensive standpoint, but I think, you know, just from a clubhouse perspective, it's going to be a great time working together.
Did you notice any major changes in the way the stadium played with the renovations last year?
It's always been my favorite place to hit. Favorite place, I would say second favorite place to hit. My favorite place to hit is Houston. My second favorite place is Rogers Center. And I felt like the corners were a lot smaller. In the game, I've heard the players from the Blue Jays side say that the ball wouldn't fly in the gaps. As far as BP and whatnot, it was pretty fun to hit in, and it was definitely something, you know, I looked at in this process.
Thanks, Isaiah, and good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for your time today, Isaiah. We appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thanks, guys. It was nice meeting all of you. Look forward to working with everybody when we get started in spring training.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Si te quieres olvidar,